Hello and good morning. This is Amanda, your art teacher, and I'm here in my room and I want to quickly go over some of the differences between acrylic and regular gouache paint. So, I'm working on a painting that is going to have a combination of acrylic, gouache, and regular, and you can mix them or you can use them separately in the same painting. It's a very cool paint, and I'm going to go over more properties of each, but today we're just going to discuss the differences. So, acrylic gouache has an acrylic polymer binder. So, I would describe that as plastic in a nutshell. Regular gouache is made with a gum arabic binder, which comes from tree sap, like some African tree. So, it's like a natural product. And so, the polymer plastic binder can increase the flexibility of the gouache paint. Oh, there's a glare. You can still see it. So, acrylic gouache is more flexible than traditional gouache. I haven't noticed this. To me, they're both pretty much the same except for one difference, but this is what AI has told me, and it's fascinating. So, opacity or the opaqueness of acrylic gouache is more opaque than traditional gouache and shows brush marks more easily. I haven't noticed any difference in these either, but it's cool to know. So then, drying time. Acrylic gouache dries faster than traditional, but cannot be reactivated with water once dried. This is the major difference between acrylic gouache and regular, and it's very cool. So, I personally do not like regular acrylic paint. The polymer plastic property of it, I just don't want to work with it. But acrylic gouache is more like a thicker permanent watercolor. So, with acrylic paint, it's kind of plastic, so once it dries, it's on there. Like you can't re-wet it to rework it. And that property is the same in acrylic gouache. So yeah. And then down here it says, I found this out. Mixing. Acrylic gouache can be mixed with traditional gouache, but any amount of acrylic gouache will be permanent. So that would mean I took this to mean that any amount of regular gouache that I put in my mix of acrylic and regular gouache can be reactivated, and I will show you the reactivation of these paints. So, to reactivate the paint, you have to be careful with gouache because if you don't let it dry completely and you go over it with a brush, you can loosen and lift the paint. Acrylic gouache, like I said, once you paint it and it's completely dry, I will show you a demonstration. So we're gonna take our wet brush. See, there's nothing coming off. Maybe slightly. Dang it. It's it's supposed to be like not reworkable at all, but I think to a degree it is. But with regular gouache, see how much paint you can like lift off? Of So that's the main difference. Like, yeah, you can re-wet the acrylic gouache, but it's not gonna lift the same way as easily as traditional. And then I you can mix them. Like, say you wanna just mix a specific color. Um, so this is a mix of acrylic and regular gouache, and we're gonna see if it lifts some of the paint and leaves some. Yeah, it's lifting. I think I used a green and a gray. So it's pretty cool. Like, if you're not happy with something that you painted, you can remove some of it and paint over it. It's gonna be I don't know if it's possible to remove all the paint because, like, the pigments, they can stain the paper. So at most, it would be like, lasering off a tattoo and then tattooing over it. Like, if you wanted to fix something, you could remove it to a degree, like you can see the papers coming through right there, but it's not there's still going to be a blue tint, so you'd have to paint over it unless you're happy with being able to see the paper through it. And then you can see some of the paint has stayed, more permanent, like the acrylic gouache, and some of it is removable. So this is a very cool paint. I really like it. I like the properties of it. I like that it dries matte, meaning there's no shine to it. I mean, it kind of looks wet right now, but um, it dries matte, like not glossy. And that's something else that with acrylic paint, it dries kind of glossy because it's like a plastic. So I like the matte finish. It's like not chalky. That chalky has a negative connotation to it, I think, but um yeah, nice and matte. And um I'll go into more of the properties later. This is I just wanted to make just a simple video explaining the difference, and I think I did that. Um yeah. So that is it for this video, and I dyed my hair brown because I wanted to have brown hair again, so it's like for autumn. I'm going to the gallery now. I have a lot to do, and I hope you all have a good day. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.